Hey everybody, and welcome back to A Cow's Opinion, the little bitty gaming news tech show where, I just give you my opinion. You can like it or not like it, but hey, let me know if you like these videos. You can hit that little like button, hit that little bell, do a little dance, and sacrifice your firstborn, which is all the stuff YouTube wants you to do now, apparently. God only knows why. But today, we're going to talk a little less about games, a little more about the people who make them, because I know that we all focused on E3, but something else happened this past day, today actually, that I think that we should talk about for a second. And that is that Activision Blizzard shareholders finally okayed their CEO pay. Now, if you don't know this, the CEO is Bobby Kotick. Bobby Kotick has made Activision a ton of money. Just to start from the beginning, he's been there for a long time. And investors like him for the most part because he's made them a ton of money. Under his leadership, they bought Blizzard, absorbed with them microtransactions, all kinds of everything that has been happening for the past 5, 6, 7 years that has just caused Activision's stock price. And let's go over here for a second. Let's show you this stock price. So as you can see, it's at almost... It fell a little after the trading day closed. We're not going to... I'm really into stocks and stuff, but you guys probably don't want a huge technical readout. So, all you need to know is it's $91.50 a share. So let's look at this. From the beginning of the year, it was at $88. 5 years ago, we're in the 30s and 40s. And then if you look at all time... Look at this. Way back when in 95, you're talking $1 and change. Good Lord, man. If you were old enough to buy stocks, hell, even if you bought them around that huge recession thing in housing crash in 2008, 2009, you got this dip here in 2009. It opens at 15, it closes at 860. I mean, that's incredible. It's a hell of a return because they also pay dividends, which means that you get paid a portion of money just to hold the stock. It's not very much because you can see that says it's only a 0.5% yield. But again, there's a reason why I'm going into the stock price and the fact that when you have a share, you also get paid that money every year because of this. So if you don't know, every year publicly traded companies will have referendums. They'll let you know, hey, here's our officers, here's the people in charge, here's the pay plans, and they'll say, do you want to give the guy in charge this money? Now, these are usually seen as obvious votes, formalities, if you will. Usually, if you're doing a terrible job, you're walking away to pursue other opportunities, or you're just being fired. If you're there, and they're giving you a shareholder vote for your compensation package, which is the money that you're going to make, it's a formality. You're definitely going to get it. You're in that seat. You've made the money. Now you're going to get rewarded. So today, Activision Blizzard shareholders approved the compensation proposal that was advised right here, suggesting that the controversial delay in the vote may have paid off. Let's talk about that. 54% of shareholders approved in a non-binding vote. We'll go over it, don't worry. And the vote had been pushed back. Now, let's talk about that all for a second, because that's a lot of information. Non-binding vote means we're going to let you vote, but again, it's a formality. However, if you don't know anything about the stock market or how companies work, it is incredibly embarrassing on Wall Street, at banks, and in the industry itself of gaming or whatever industry you're in. If you make trucks, if you make buildings, if you make airplanes, if your non-binding vote fails, you can still do it. But it is a huge black eye slap in the face that makes hedge funds, bankers, everybody starts to smell weakness. It's going to be harder for you to get loans. It's going to be harder for you to get things done. It is a terrible thing if your non-binding vote fails. That's specifically why they have them non-binding, so they can't fail. This was supposed to happen last week. That's not what happened last week, though, is it? You see, last week, it looked like it was about 50-50. It looked like the non-binding vote might fail, which is, again, huge slap in the face. This meant that Activision Blizzard did something that was unprecedented. They claimed that the company was being attacked, that it was misleading information, that it was not true, that these were terrible people just spouting rumors on the internet. And they did the unthinkable. They delayed the vote. You never delay this vote. I cannot stress you enough. There were talking heads. I watched CNBC because my other interest with gaming is stocks, and there were talking heads saying, this is unprecedented. This is not what you do. This alone is embarrassing for Activision Blizzard, that their non-binding vote, a vote that should not matter, had to be delayed because you might lose it. This is supposed to be this is a gimme. This is the equivalent of the tutorial level. If you can't pass this, you're that one reporter who couldn't get over the Cuphead demo level where it was teaching you how to jump. That is mind-bogglingly stupid, you guys. But that's what happened. They had to delay the vote. And it did apparently work because the 50-50 went 54-46 in their favor. So CEO Bobby Kotick received $154.6 million the same year that the stock price rose 56%. Now, 56% a year is pretty damn good. Let's not kid ourselves. Is it 150 plus million a year? A lot of people said no, and it's part of the whole thing in America. I got a lot of European viewers. In America, people are really starting to pay attention to those CEO pays. You can earn 150 million, but I would argue that if you're not getting at least 100% of your stock price in that year, you ain't worth triple digits. If this ain't triple digits right here, this ain't worth triple digits right here. No, 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 no. Going down a little further, we have some comments I really like to look at. So, $154.6 million a year. Here's what you don't understand, and here's why I went to the stock price, and here's why I talked about being paid dividends. People are upset that Bobby Kotick is compensated that much, because it's hard to justify somebody earning $154 million a year as a CEO. But Bobby Kotick isn't paid $154 million a year. But Cal, it just says he received $154. He did receive $154 million. His base pay is about $850,000. Let that sink in for a second. That means $153 odd million was not from his paycheck. His paycheck was $850,000. That's it. Nobody is going to complain about a CEO getting a high 8-figure salary the same year you increase the price 56%. Here's where it all ties together, my friends. Bobby Kotick was given $153 million in Activision Blizzard stock. Let's do a little calculation. 153 million. Oh, excuse me. He only got 6 figures. I'm saying 8 figures. I can't do math. I'm so shocked by this article, viewers. $153 million divided by current share price. He got, we'll say, 1.6 million, depending on when it was given, how much the stock was worth, but he got between 1.6 and 2 million shares over the course of the year. 1.6 million. Remember that dividend of 47 cents per share? Just for holding the shares that he got in 1 year, he earns as much money as his base pay almost. He is $98,000 below. Now, he's been getting these kind of rewards for a couple of years at least, which means that he is getting, just to hold the stock, which went up 56% over the year, which means all of the stock that he had from his previous bonus years, and he had gotten a lot of stock those previous bonus years, also went up 56,000. That's a lot of money. His base pay is barely bigger than the dividends of 1 year of stock. That's a pretty damn good racket, if you ask me. Now, the problem with compensating Bobby Kotick with all this is that Activision Blizzard is not having a good year with its fans. And I say we, I don't play Blizzard games anymore, because we, and I, are tired of microtransactions. We're tired of watching them pander to certain regimes. We're tired of listening to them talk about how we're making so much money, and then talk about how they have to have cost-cutting rounds and firing people. We're tired of watching this company work the workers 70 to 80 hours a week, and then claiming cost-cutting measure. We can't afford to increase their pay. Well, we had record-setting years again, guys. I don't even need to pull up an article for you to know that. Let's look at some comments right here. By the way, also, this is Seeking Alpha, which is the CNBC... Excuse me, I should have done this at the beginning. It is the CNBC advanced thing. You get a couple free articles a year. Can't believe it. Let's look at some comments and see what people... There is no one for Mr. Webchild that is worth $150 million a year. How many employees have to have minimal raises to make up for that obnoxious salary package? Corporate greed at its finest. He's not wrong. Great Mazinga? Really? Although the company did really great under his leadership, was not a big part of the company's success due to lockdown? Yes, it was. And in fact, Value Man, yes, but honestly more so to the strategic changes they made to capitalize on in-game microtransactions, which heightened profitability, accelerated growth, reduced cyclicality. Probably it's the word that means cyclical. I can't pronounce it. You release a game that's really popular, the game makes less money the longer it is, because you don't make money. But now you've got Battle Royale microtransactions that give you base revenue things as long as people play your game. That's... I'm not even going... I'm stupid, I'm sorry. Value Man also says, wonder which analyst will have the gusto to ask Bobby how he voted. I would love to see that. Because remember, another part of this scam, Bobby has 1.6 million shares from that last year alone. He's got votes too. He can vote to approve his own package. I want Bobby to keep producing 56 returns. He's a blank check as far as I'm concerned. I'm in a similar camp, although it's a tough look for ESG regulators. It is. Because gamers, the people who actually consume Activision Blizzard's products, are the ones that are talking about this is not fair. This is not what we want. So how many shares? Shares out is 777 million. So he doesn't even have... He has a fraction of 1% himself, probably. Even with his compensation. So I don't want you guys to think that he has 40% of the vote. It would be amazing if he had 40% of the vote and he still could only get to 56%. But sadly, I don't think we're quite there yet. And like, price to earnings multiple is 30. That's pretty damn high. Forward it's expected to be a more reasonable 24.5, which means that they expect either the price to do worse, or more likely, now that games are starting to come out regularly again, they expect them to make a lot more money. But the whole point of this video is this. Bobby Kotick has gone on TV. I saw him on Jim Cramer's Mad Money. And he was talking about, it's okay to cut my pay. Hey, I'm all about the little guy. Cut my pay. He doesn't give a damn about his pay, you guys. He gets paid $850,000 a year. $150 million a year is compensation in stock bonuses that he is driving the price up with his microtransactions. So he gets to go on network TV, and I saw him spew this BS. But forgive my language. I saw him spew this. Hey, I've said it's not about me. We've cut my pay in half, Jim. And Jim Cramer didn't push him on it. Because guess what, Jim? Of course he doesn't care if you cut his pay in half. He gets multiples 10, 20, 30 times his pay in the stock year after year. We just did the math with my stupid little brain. We found out that the dividends for 1 year alone, just to hold the stock, is almost as much money as his base pay. Do you think he cares if he gets $1.5 million or $800,000 a year from his salary? He ain't going into the office for his salary, folks. He's going in there because he knows as long as he keeps that train running, he's going to get these obscene packages. You want to know what it's going to take to fix gaming? This is what it's going to take, guys. We're going to have to eventually let the Activision Blizzards, and I'm sorry to pick on them when they're not this, but we all thinking the same thing. We're thinking the same two letters. We're thinking EA. They're just going to have to understand that we're not stupid. We see what you're doing. We want your employees not to be worked 8 hours a week. We want to love their games. And we don't want stupid. We'll pay for DLC. We'll pay for cosmetics. We don't want the grind. We don't want the unfair drop rates. We want fairness. That's why I like showcasing on my channel more indie stuff, more smaller to medium to even A-class games, because they treat you better. And I hope that if you see a game from a studio you don't know, but you're like, that's kind of cool, give it a shot. Because the only way this is going to get any better, the only way that Activision Blizzard employees are not going to be forced out, burned out, worked until they drop, the only way it's going to happen is if this garbage doesn't keep happening. But as always, this has been a Cow's Opinion. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We have a comment section down below, and you tell me. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And as always, I hope you're having fun. Because if you're not having fun, what's the point of all this gaming? Even when Bobby Kotick with his smug face right there is taking a dump on all of us right here. Guys, I'll see you next time. Have a good one.